Okay, hello there ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another benchmarking video. As you may be able to tell from the title, I got myself an AMD card. It's the R9 270X, which I got off eBay at a pretty good price. But sadly I don't have all the money in the world, so I can't buy a full rig. So I am using my own processor, but I think this video sort of goes to show how important the processor can be in certain games, because this is a very CPU intensive game. I think it's probably the wrong game to benchmark the first time round with the AMD, but I thought I'd give it a shot anyway because I know how to use the Valve games in a good way to do benchmarks, so I can do the side-by-side comparisons. But my next video I do hope to get a more graphical intensive game. I've heard that I've heard a game that has a benchmark and I haven't actually tried it yet. I've completely forgot what it's called. But if you want to suggest games to me to actually try out and showcase the AMD properly, being fully used in Linux, then feel free. The drivers will be linked up in the description. I don't 100% know which versions they are because I'm quite bad with AMD and knowing exactly what they are, but I just know I'm using the Catalyst drivers in Linux. I think they were 15.3, the version was 15.3 or something like that, as I've had the best results with them. When I tried the open source drivers, it complained about OpenGL, so I never really got a chance to try the OpenGL out. The open source drivers out yet, and I still need to get used to how that works. But as you can see here, with the Intel i7 4790K, it is helping CS go a long way here on the Linux version. And I mean, the FPS isn't that great compared to the Windows version, but it's still above 100 at most times, and it even dwells into the 200 plus FPS. So every now and again. Whereas as you can see on the Windows version, it is constantly over 200 FPS. But to be honest, with an AMD card, you can't complain with 100 plus FPS. But it seems to run smooth. I mean, I didn't have any problems. I was really surprised. I mean, I've seen Penguin Recordings videos, and he was getting like 30 FPS, something really bad like that. So I was sort of expecting to get that sort of range. But then for me to be able to play around nice and smooth, I was just like, okay, this isn't actually half that bad. So I mean, if you do want to get AMD for your Linux installed hardware, software, whatever, then I do recommend dwelling into getting an Intel processor. I mean, it seems to be the best case at the moment. Like I say, I do need to try a graphical intensive game. Maybe Metro Redux or Bioshock Infinite. I think that would be some good games to maybe test out on full settings. As you can see, there isn't really any drops. I didn't really experience anything bad during the playing process of this. So, you know, I've heard a hell of a lot of bad things with AMD. I mean, I got a lot of complaints on my previous benchmarks in regards to my GTX 980. But I mean, I worked hard for that, so I don't intend on buying a shit ton of hardware just to make these benchmarks. I'm not really paid for. I am a partner of YouTube, but I'm not paid that well. So the amount of money I put into working into YouTube, it really doesn't pay back, if that makes sense. Like I spent a lot. Like I spent like what, nearly £100 on the AMD card, whereas it would take me nearly a full year to earn that on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like I do put a lot of effort into this, but I can't. As I get revenge on that guy, I felt sorry for him. I just literally spawned exactly where I died. But yeah, I'd love to get a full rig where I can try a lower end processor and the AMD card, but it's literally not possible for me to do that unless I buy myself a full computer, which it isn't going to happen anytime soon. So Intel i7 it has to be, sadly, and the same for my graphics cards. Like I say, I mean, I guess it sucks for people to see that I am using great hardware on my other benchmarks, but I can't really do much about that. Like I say, I worked really hard to get that hardware, and it was such a nice feeling to be able to use it and maybe get fairer benchmarks when using it against, well, putting Ubuntu up against Windows. I thought it'd make it a bit fairer. But yeah, I think that's it. As you can see, it did run okay. Not as bad as I assumed it would do. But yeah, leave your suggestions in the comments below. I want to hear what you want to see. So what game do you want to see put up against Windows? Well, put Ubuntu against Windows. God damn it. Excuse me. But yeah, anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully get a GPU intensive game next time around. Thank you very much for watching, and peace out. See you later guys.